Hi students, I hope all of you are good health. Today we will be beginning with our next video lesson on valency. Now before beginning with the topic valency, I would like to ask you few questions, and through this question answer session, I will slowly but steadily will move on to the topic so that you can understand it in a better way. Now the first question is, students, why do bond formation take place? This is one and the most vital question, that why do atom needs to bond with another atom so that it forms a compound. So let us begin. Now students, this bond formation takes place because, as you can see students over here, I have drawn the atoms along with the electrons revolving around the nucleus. Now these electrons are responsible for any chemical reaction to occur, and during this chemical reaction the atoms attain a stable state. That means students, in order to achieve this stable state, always atoms forms bond with another atom, or rather bond formation take place. Now the next question is, what does this stable state means? What does this stable state means? Now students, this stable state means that you can see I have drawn two atoms over here which consist of the different electrons. Now in the first case, there is only one orbit around which the electrons are revolving. Now if there is one orbit, then it requires another electron over here in order to attain a stable state. That means it requires another electron. But now if it is in the second case, if it is having more than two orbits, then it requires total 8 number of electrons to attain a stable state. Let us see, 1 2 3 4 5. That means it will be 1 2 3 more. So if it attains this state, then it will be attaining a stable state, means it will not react anymore. Now this one, where we see only one orbit is there and only two electrons are revolving around this orbit, this state of stable state is known as duplet state, and this state where the electrons are having 8 electrons in the last shell, this is known as octet state. Now from here we can understand that last shell needs to be completed either to the octet state or to the duplet state based on the orbits which we can see, then only it will be acquiring a stable state. Now in case of few elements like helium, neon, argon, they do not react. Now let us see why they don't react. Next is, students, why noble gases do not react with each other. As you can see students, I have already shown you 3 atoms over here. This is helium, this is neon, and this is argon. Now if you count the orbit in the first case, students, how many electrons are there? It is 2. This is 1 and this is 2. And what I said, students, now if the outermost electronic shell is having 2 electrons, then it will be stable. And as it is stable, it do not need to react with another atom. Next, in case of neon, since it is having two orbits, I said that if it is more than one orbit, then the last electron has to have 8 electrons at a time. Last orbit has to have 8 electrons at a time. Let us count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This one was 1. So here also the 8 electrons are completed in the last orbit. That is why it will not react anymore. Similarly, in case of argon, which is having 3 orbits, as you can see, 1, 2, 3. Here also we require 8 electrons. Let us count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So here also we see, students, that it has completed the octet. That means it will not react anymore with noble gases, with any other gases or any other atoms. Therefore, this noble gas do not react with any other atoms, which it do not require any bond formation to take place, which I was discussing at the beginning. Okay? Next is, what about the atoms which do not have this stable state? Then what they will do? That is our next concern. So atoms which do not have completed their octet or duplet state, what they will do? They will either donate electron, or they will gain electron, or they will simply share electron. Following this 3 rule, atoms will attain their stable state. Either they will donate electron, or they will gain electron, or they will share electron, and this way they will be attaining their stable state. But the next question is that who decides that how many electrons to be donated, how many electrons to be gained, and how many electrons to be shared? Who decided? So this is our next topic which we will be discussing. Now, as I said, students, that who decides whether how many electrons will be donated, gained, or shared for forming this bond? And the answer to this is valency. So valency determines how many electrons will be donated by a particular atom, or how many will be gained and how many will be shared. And this way bond formation takes place. So what is valency? It is nothing but combining capacity of an atom, that is how many electrons will be donated, gained, or shared for attaining the stable state. Next is, what about atoms with 1 electron in the first stellar orbit? What will happen if there is only one electron in the first orbit? Suppose this is the atom, this is the orbit, and it has only 1 electron. So how can it donate its electron? It's not possible. Either it has to gain 1 electron in order to complete the octet shell, or it needs to share electron. How does it do it? Let us see. Now see, students, suppose this is hydrogen, okay, and this is having only 1 electron in the outermost shell. So how many electron it requires to complete the octet? It requires 1 more electron. Okay, if it gains 1 more electron over here, then it will be attaining the stable state. Therefore, valency of hydrogen becomes 1. Okay students, do you get my point? I hope so. Now see students, I have drawn the atom for oxygen over here, and I am showing you how many electrons are there in the last shell. Please see students, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That means in order to complete its octet state, that is 8th state, how many electrons are needed students? It is only 2. It requires 2 more electrons to complete the stable state, that is octet state. That is why valency becomes 2. So now this combining capacity for different atoms and molecules is known as their valency. Now next is how we will understand that how many electrons are there in the last shell, or how we need to memorize that how many electrons are there in the last shell and how to calculate this valency. Now we have understood that what is valency. Now in order to understand that state, we need to learn about the periodic table once more, at least the first 20 elements of the periodic table, so that our understanding becomes easier. Now students, I have drawn the periodic table on the board so that you can understand the concept well about valency. So let us once more recapitulate about periodic table. Now periodic table is a table which consists of elements in a repeating or cyclical form, where the electron on the last shell of these atoms are same. For example, this is group 1A. Now group 1A, that is hydrogen, lithium, sodium and potassium, is having 1 electron in their last orbit. Now as I said students, if they are having 1 electron in their last orbit, they will try to combine this electron with another atom. And therefore valency of hydrogen, lithium, sodium and potassium is 1. So I am marking it with red pen so that you can understand that valency of hydrogen is 1, lithium is 1, sodium is 1 and potassium is also 1. Next is we are having this second period. Now second period means this elements can react 2 electrons, rather 2 valence electrons with another atom in order to attain a stable state. That is, their valency for beryllium is 2, magnesium is 2, calcium is 2. Now for elements in the third period, that is boron, aluminium, they are having 3 electrons in their last shell, so they will be combining 3 electrons with other atoms in order to attain the stable state. So their valency will be 3 and over here it will be 3. Now up to this part of the periodic table, which you can see students, up to this part, the electron will be donated. As I said, it is based on the number of electron donated, shared and gained. It will determine the valency. Okay, so if it is having up to 3 electrons in their valence shell, then it can easily donate electron to another atom and can easily attain the stable state. Therefore, the period containing hydrogen, lithium and sodium and potassium, that is 1A, it will, all the elements belonging to this group, okay, it's not period, students, it's group. Group 1A, they will all have the valency 1. Next is all elements in group 2. Since I said that they are having valence electron 2 in their last orbit, therefore they have their valency 2. And the third group, which is having 3 electrons in their valence shell, they will be donating 3 electrons for attaining the stable state, for combining rather, therefore their valence is 3. Now when it is becoming more than 3 students, more than 3, just think of the condition. Okay, now think of the condition of nitrogen. Let us take the example nitrogen. Since it is in 5A, how many electrons are there in the last shell, students? As I said, this group represents the number of electrons in the last shell. So nitrogen is having 5 electrons. Now in order to attain this stable state, it requires 3 electrons. Now if it starts donating 5 electrons, it will take a lot of energy for combining. But instead of donating 5 electrons, if it accepts 3 electrons, it will be easier for nitrogen to combine, as the energy requirement will be less. So in case of elements in the periods more than 4, I repeat, more than 4 students, most of them up to 7A, not this 8th group or the 0 group, from 5 to 7, all will be gaining electron. So if we calculate the valency now, students, now this is nitrogen in the 5th position. So 8 minus 5. How many? It is again 3. Now students, you may ask me a question that why, ma'am, we are just subtracting this 5 from 8. Why not from 2? Means why not 2? Means we are not calculating the duplet state. Because students, this period represents the number of orbit. Now all elements in period 1 is having orbit 1. So they are having only 2 electrons or 1 electrons at the most in their outermost shell, and they require duplet state to attain this stable state. But if it is 2, 3, that means more than 1 orbit is coming. That is, elements in period 2 is having 2 orbit, elements in period 3 will be having 3 orbit, and elements in period 4 will be having 4 orbit. That means all elements belonging to period 2, 3, 4 will require this octet state in order to complete their stable state configuration. So I am just subtracting this 5 from 8. Okay. Whereas, so what we understood from here, period represents the orbit, whereas group represents the number of valence electrons. So this way we are counting, students. So in case of phosphorus, again it is 5. So 5 minus 8, it is again 3. Therefore valency of phosphorus is 3. Again, in case of oxygen, how many valence electrons? Since it is in group 6A, it is 6 electron. And since it is in second period, that is, it is having 2 orbits, so we will simply subtract it from 8. Now 8 minus 6, students, we are getting 2. Again, in case of sulfur, it is in the third period, that means it has 3 orbits all around. Okay, therefore again we will be subtracting this 6 from 8 and we will be getting 2. The valency or combining capacity is 2. Next, in the 7th group, that is fluorine and chlorine. Okay, it is having 7 electrons in their third and second shell of fluorine and the third shell of chlorine respectively. So here we will be again subtracting 7 from 8. Why 8? As I told, it is having more than one orbit. And why 7? Because 7 electrons are there in the valence shell. That is the last shell. So if we subtract it, we will be getting 1. Therefore, valency of fluorine is 1 and chlorine is also 1. And in this middle portion, that is group 4, they always share electron. Means they are in a transition state. They can neither donate electron, because again nobody will be taking so many electrons, because it takes a lot amount of energy. Again, if it tries to gain electron, it will also be a huge amount of energy expenditure. So this group generally share electron. And how many electron? Since in the last shell it is 4, so their valency will be 4. Okay, and the 0 group means, students, helium, neon, argon. Okay, now they are having all the electrons present in their last shell. Like in case of helium, it requires 2 electrons to be present in the last shell. It has that. In case of neon and argon, it has the 8 electron, as I have already shown. So since they do not combine with other atoms for attaining the stable state, that means they are already in their stable state, so their valency will be 0 in all the cases. Now again, if you see the configuration properly, you will see, students, up to this it is going in a forward motion, and from here it is going in a backward motion. So now, students, if you follow the trend, if you see, it is 1 2 3 4 3 2 1 0. Again, if you go there in this row, you see 1 2 3 4 3 2 1 0. You can make a rhyme also like this if you want. So we are beginning from the first, how to remember the valency. It is 1 0 1 2 3 4 3 2 1 0. Again 1 2 3 4 3 2 1 0. It is 1 2. So like this, if you see, it is repeating at an interval, and the valency of the first 20 elements in the periodic table can be understood very well from this. Next, we will be learning about the concept of variable valency. Now, what is variable valency, students? It is a tendency of an atom an element to exhibit one or more valency at a time. Okay. Now, it may have valency 1 and 2, like in case of copper. It may have valency 2 or 3 at a time, like in case of iron. Okay. Now, if an atom of an element is having this type of valency, then it will be known as variable valency. Now, students, you see in this case, in the first case, iron is combining with 2 atoms. Okay, that means it has a valency 2. Okay, it can, since we know oxygen is having valency how much, students? It is 2. And since it was on group 6, that is why it has the ability to take up electron, gain electron. Now this iron will be able to combine with 2 atoms over here. Therefore, the valency of iron over here will be 2. I am writing here 2 students for making you understand. While in the second case, if you see students, here 3 oxygen atoms are combining with iron. Okay. Now in that case, valency of iron will be 3. So name of the compound formed in the first case will be ferrous oxide. That means having valency 2. And in the second case, the answer will be ferric oxide. The valency will be 3. So this way, the valencies are being formed. Now other example of variable valency is copper. I am showing you. Another example is copper, where valency can be 1, can be 2. Okay. So these are example of variable valency. I hope you have understood the lesson. You all understood this lesson today very well. So this way we complete with our revision with chapter 4, that is atom, molecules and radicals. Go through the video well, students, and if you have any doubt, any queries or anything else you want to ask me, you can ask me through our Google Meet session. In our next session, we will be discussing with the different question answer session of this chapter. Okay. And another thing, students, you need to do is you need to write your exercise, exercise question answers in your classwork copy, as it was already told and mentioned. So do it well and have a nice day, students. Thank you.